Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of AB in the Films. I just saw Gone with the Wind for the very first time.
First picture to win 10 Academy Awards. The most honored, the most talked about motion picture in all film history.
You know, for the longest time I've always heard this is a classic. This is one of the best films of all time. This is up there with Citizen Kane, The Wizard of Oz, you know, some of like the greatest films ever made. And I found out it was 3 hours and 40 minutes long. I mean, it's a long, long flick, which, as a film enthusiast, I'm actually interested in seeing what the reels looked like for this movie, running this in the projection room in 1939. I mean, how many reels could they have run for this movie? I mean, they must have had like 20 reels or something running this. Because in those days, movie theaters, only one film was playing in a theater. So if Gone with the Wind was playing, this was all they were showing. And this was... yeah, this is really long, so I think a reel is like 10 minutes or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, 3 hours, and that's almost a 4-hour-long flick. It's a long movie. I mean, the DVD I have on it has... The whole movie is 2 discs. You have the first half on disc 1 and the second half of the movie on disc 2. That's how long the film is. And I've heard, you know, so many people have referenced this movie over the decades. This is considered one of the best MGM films ever made. Victor Fleming directed this, the same guy that directed The Wizard of Oz, which came out the same year this did, 1939. And I've never seen Clark Gable in a movie, you know, like I've always heard Clark Gable is one of the biggest, he was one of the biggest actors in film. And I've had this DVD for almost a year now, but I never got to see it. So I finally sat down, popped it in and watched it, and I had no idea what the film was about. I had no idea what the characters were. I just knew that this was one of the best films of all time. That's what it's hailed as. And after seeing it, finally, I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I don't think it's... here's the thing. I respect the film for what it's trying to do, and that is basically... it's a love story. That's pretty much what Gone with the Wind is. It's a love story. That's really what it is. So the film takes place during the Civil War, and everybody's going to war, and Scarlett O'Hara, who is the main character. You know, it's funny. She really is the main character, Scarlett O'Hara. It's not Rhett Butler.
Gone with the Wind has captured the imagination and acclaim of the entire world. The screen has never known a love story to compare with this, when Rhett Butler meets Scarlett O'Hara.
I really like the relationship between Rhett Butler and Scarlett O'Hara, how that progresses. And the cinematography's gorgeous. I mean, wow, man! Like when I was watching this, like as soon as the movie opened, all I could think of is, wow, this is a film I would love to see on the big screen. You know, in 16:9. You know, I mean, this is huge. You know, because just the landscape of it, and you see the plantations of the South and everything, and this is, you know, the Civil War is just about to start, and everybody's going off to war. But Scarlett O'Hara, you know, she loves Ashley Wilkes, this guy who, I guess they had a relationship, but not so much anymore. He doesn't feel for her anymore. And Rhett Butler kind of comes in, and, you know, it's like a love triangle in a way, but it's done really well. And, you know, just saying the title of this movie it's one of those titles that just brings images to your mind. You know, like, for example, if I were to say a film title, like all those images start coming into your mind, like The Wizard of Oz, or Back to the Future, or just films like that. You start having all these images. Well, you say Gone with the Wind, it just pops right into you. And And Turner Classic Movies would play this movie a lot back then. I remember that. But I never got around to seeing it. And I remember when this movie, when it was on TCM, I remember talking to my uncle about this. And my uncle knew at the time, this is back when I was 15. He knew I wanted to be in movies. He knew that I was interested in it. And he told me, he said, you know, this is the first movie ever to be released where they say a curse word in it. Because you were not allowed to say... you know, because the famous line from this movie that we all know is...
Red, you go. Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
That Hollywood never said that. And you weren't allowed to swear in movies. This is the first film to ever use a curse word in it. And when that scene finally came up in the movie, I remember thinking... Oh, that was done so well. Oh, that was done really well. Just the way the scene elevates because of what the characters are going through and all that. Is some of the stuff in this film hard to watch? Well, maybe a little bit. It all depends on how you interpret it. For me, it was a different... You know, the way I see it is, it was a different time. And also, guys, it's a movie, you know. You know, I mean, like... It's a movie, and after seeing it, finally, because, again, everyone builds this movie up as one of the greatest movies of all time, and I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Is it one of my favorite films, and I love it now? No, it's not like that, but I'm glad I saw it. You know, it's one of those films like, I'm glad I saw it. But the cinematography blew me away in this. I mean, just the landscapes and the way the camera was and the way the angles are. Oh my goodness, when you're watching a movie and you get shots like that, oh, I just get so enwrapped in that, man. I get involved in that. And of course, the title of this is really clever. Because I remember asking myself, why is this movie called Gone with the Wind? Well, they explain it in the opening credits, really. Because... this is in the 1930s, and of course in those days, even in the 40s and 50s, movies don't necessarily do this anymore, but in those days, they would usually show text in between scenes to tell you what's going on and stuff like that. And then George Lucas pretty much rewrote the rules for that in Star Wars, really. So, but they explain in the text, basically, and then I figured out why it's called Gone with the Wind, and I'm like, that's a really good title for a film. That's really good. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Gone with the Wind. Do I recommend this movie? Well, yeah, I think I would, because it's definitely up there. I mean, it's one of MGM's finest. And I'm glad I got to see a movie starring Clark Gable. I mean, like, he's hailed as one of the biggest actors of all times at that time in the 30s and 40s. Yeah, I recommend this movie. Highly recommend it. It's rated G. You know, so I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm glad I saw this movie, and I recommend that you guys check it out. And I will see you guys in the next review. Take care.